Okay, I want to talk about Jan 6 for a bit here. A lot of shit going on. Okay, we heard about the 290 federal agents that were there. Kash Patel has a strange defense of them. Maybe he has to defend them because he's the FBI guy now. But let's start at the top. Wray lied under oath. FBI had 274 plainclothes agents in the crowd on January 6th. It was a total FEDSURRECTION. So those are two separate things. He lied under oath. He said there wasn't. Well, what did he say exactly? Didn't he say, I cannot disclose who was there? James Comey could have a familiar cellmate when he's finally sent to prison. Former FBI Director Wray lied and lectured House Republicans for accusing the FBI of planting informants, operatives, agents inside the massive crowd. Yeah, so he chastised House Republicans for implying the FBI could ever have anyone in there. So he didn't just say, I can't identify them. He said, how dare you even say such a thing? It directly contradicts official sources. Wray testified in Congress he does not believe undercover FBI agents were there. What do you mean you do not believe? Is that a way to get away with
I would imagine so.
Perjury?
Yeah.
I don't believe they were there. Well, they were. Did you not know? I guess now you have to prove that he knew. I'm not sure there were undercover agents on the scene, Wray responded to Biggs. I sit here right now. I do not believe there were undercover agents on. So Jake Tapper has to deal with this. Jake Tapper is a slippery little eel, isn't he? He lets the country believe that Biden is not brutally retarded and incapable of walking. And then when the jig is up and word gets out, he writes a book called Why Didn't We Know? Why did they lie to us? Really? So here he is being confronted with the truth. Now, this is weird because when you hear Kash Patel say, well, they were there, but they were there to keep the peace. They just went off script. You think, well, you're the government, you're the FBI, so you can't shit on the FBI when you're the head of the FBI. But then this guy's the government too. Speaker of the House, he's there shitting on the FBI.
It should do. And they have to hold people accountable. We have to ensure that the rule of law applies to everyone. And that's exactly what's happening here.
Does the rule of law have to apply to people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th?
It did.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. There's new information over the last couple of days about that as well. Apparently, there were 274 FBI agents in the crowd on January 6th.
No.
I think the total number of persons...
No. Kash Patel just brought some enhanced understanding to that. They were sent there to do crowd control because of everything that was going on. It wasn't a false flag operation, as President Trump suggested.
Well, Jake, wait a minute. Hold on, Jake. How do you know that, right? There's a lot
I'm just going by what Kash Patel said.
No, you're paraphrasing what Kash Patel said to help your argument. They cannot lose their precious J6.
Also, why would the FBI be doing crowd control? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, if they're doing crowd control, they sure fucked up.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and oh so entertaining.
I don't see a lot of FBI agents going, calm down, everyone. I see FBI agents building nooses, smashing windows, drumming up, ginning up terror. That's terrorism, by the way. Terrorism is committing a violent act for political gain. If any FBI agent smashed any glass that day, then that is our own government committing terrorism against its people. They should be charged with terrorism.
And I'm telling you that there's videos, and it's always been disputed what involvement some of those persons, engaged in, what involvement they had. Did they spur on the crowd? Did they open the gates to allow them in? I don't know. These are questions, but they should be answered. And yes, there's a lot of investigation and discovery to go forward. We have a select subcommittee, bipartisan, a committee that is reviewing the investigation of the original J6 committee. I mean, a committee investigating the previous committee. Yeah. Why? Because there was so much bias in the system. And that committee was rigged, I think. And I think
Absolutely.
My theory is, I've always believed that they got rid of evidence and they hid some of this. So all of it's going to come out. The American people deserve full transparency.
Full transparency,
and that's
100%.
what Congress is working on, and that's what the administration...
Not to mention
I'm
Liz
always in favor of
Cheney.
full transparency.
Yes, sure you are, Jake. Liz Cheney was talking to the witnesses outside of official meetings, coaching them. So this is what Kash Patel really said. FBI Director Kash Patel has disputed President Donald Trump's claim that undercover bureau agents under former FBI Director Christopher Wray provoked the January 6th attack. Well, saying instead they were deployed on a crowd control mission that breached bureau protocol. So they went off script. Even Kash, covering his agency's ass, has to concede. What is the difference between breaching bureau protocol and provoking the attack? Sounds like we're splitting hairs here, folks. Here's the fake news builder I was talking about. Where's he? They got everyone. They got the lady in Alaska where they had to land in Anchorage and drive for another 4 hours to get to her remote massage parlor off, not a parlor, but you know what I mean. Her spa. Look at that guy. 275 plainclothes agents. 275. Embedded in January 6th crowd. Congressional source says. What does the text of that tweet say? Is that Cassandra McDonald? No. And this fake news builder, why haven't they found him yet? He looks like a Fed to me. He sure does. Go up a bit. Oh, yeah. Find this Fed. Lock him up. Throw away the key. 1 out of 274. 275 we hear. Oh, that's Michael Caputo. He's my boy. He was Roger Stone's chauffeur when he was 18. And Roger taught him how to dress. And then when Roger was on trial, the judge said, you guys cannot be friends. You cannot speak to each other. Even though Michael had nothing to do with Roger's case. But wait, it gets worse. Go to 3.3. DOJ admits that 13 Proud Boys involved with J6, 8 or more of them were paid by the FBI to provide the government information about the group. The FBI was the majority of Proud Boys. Only 5 are being prosecuted. So, 18 Proud Boys that were involved with the J6. Out of 18, 13 of them were feds. Sound familiar? It does to me. It sounds like Governor Whitmer, where I think it was about the same percentage, maybe even the same numbers. No, I think it was 6 and 3. But, you know, about 2/3 of the baddies in this case are the government, are the feds. And who does the real time? Enrique Tarrio, Ethan Nordine, Zach Greel, Dominic Pizzello. They do actual time. Well, these guys play us like chess pieces on a board. Go to 3.4. And then we're getting lots of different numbers here. Wait, 3.4. Is that Gateway Pundit? No. You've gone down one. The DOJ now admits that another 40 undercover agents. Oh, wait, that's the same one?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yes, you're right. 40 undercover agents were with the Proud Boys on J6. So sometimes they say 13, sometimes they say 40 from Homeland Security investigations. The vast majority of the group was paid by the government as either W-2 employees or CHS. Unbelievable. And then this is a great article. I'm going to go do this guy's show soon. Oh, actually tomorrow, Sean.
Okay.
Tomorrow at 11 a.m. we got to be here. So get here a little earlier. And we're doing this guy's show. I think it's called Heartland. Let me check.
Yeah, Heartland Journal.
Well, that's the name of that article. But it's very easy to communicate now that I'm back on X. I see a famous guy, and I just click on him, and then he says, want to do the show? Yes, I'd love to. Heartland Journal's podcast, yep. You're right, Heartland Journal. But this guy wrote something I've been screaming for years. Just like I was screaming that Wikipedia is corrupt, I've been screaming that the Proud Boys tried to nip this problem in the bud a long time ago. He says, these developments, he's talking about me being back on Twitter and Proud Boys getting pardoned. while belated, underscore a painful truth. Had McInnes been reinstated on platforms like X earlier, and had Tario and the Proud Boys been pardoned sooner, perhaps in 2021, they could have served as a vital counterweight to Antifa's rampage in cities like Seattle and Portland. The balance would have done more societal good than allowing Antifa's violence to fester unchecked for years, culminating in today's terrorist label only after billions in damage and eroded public trust. Yet you still hear, like Don Lemon was talking about how violent white men are. He goes, there's something in your soul, some anger inside of you. Well, that's true. That makes you violent, makes you want to hurt. I even saw on Anthony Cumia's Twitter that fucking idiot who has like 15 kids and wears a turban, Nick Cannon. And he was saying, see, it was easy in Africa because it was warm and stuff. So they didn't have to be savages. But we were Vikings and it was freezing cold and there was no food. So we had to kill and maim in order to survive. So we're evil and we're violent. No. You had it easy, so you're still primitive. You haven't evolved as much as the people in the surviving Siberian winters. So you're still a savage. That's why you'd have no problem killing and maiming and shrieking as you run through the streets. The Vikings learned, and the Northern Europeans learned, that if you're mean, you die. So you have to be benevolent and kind, and more importantly, you have to plan ahead. Because there's about to be no food anywhere. It's just going to be snow. So plan ahead, help people, be benevolent, get as many people on your side as you can. Antifa. Let's talk about them. Do we have an Antifa interstitial?
I don't think we do.
We should get one. There's the Proud Boys one.
Yeah, we don't have one.
Okay, well, maybe make the background Proud Boys for now. But we're going to be talking about Antifa for a sec. So we know they're corrupt. Just like when I was saying earlier, Jake Tapper's petrified of losing J6. That's his little pet. And the DNC is petrified of losing Antifa. They're thugs. That's their enforcers. And when Proud Boys fought their enforcers, Proud Boys went to jail. And Antifa has become inexorably linked to the violent trans movement. It's funny how they say that that Proud Boys have ties to white nationalism, which I don't understand what that even means. But Antifa absolutely has ties to the trans movement. It's the same thing at this point, right? It's hard to find an Antifa that's not trans. I bet you 80% of Antifa identifies as non-gender binary. But here's something few people have heard of. The media is hiding these trans murders. Go to 3.6. Today. Oh, this is interesting. So a protester in a hijab outside the Charlie Kirk Memorial in Glendale, Arizona, is Antifa member Brittany Erica Austin, previously Eric Austin, and now goes by Sumaya Dawood. He regularly goes to Antifa direct actions with a rifle. I've reported on him a lot. He's extremely radicalized with radical Islam, leftism, trans, and Antifa ideologies. So that's weird. Gays and radical Islam, they have nothing in common, right? Well, they actually have a lot in common. They both want to destroy the West. Does that look better? Maybe. But keep going on those slides, Sean, because he does a little speech at the end. I love this, by the way. The best way to attack Islam is to encourage trans female Muslims. I don't know if it's a related case, but the FBI denied a gun transfer to me. I don't even go to a gun shop, but I could get one if I wanted to, a simple phone call. So there he is talking about getting his illegal guns, how important it is to have illegal guns. What does Antifa, gays, and radical Islam all have in common? Well, nothing, except they all want to destroy the West. And Coulter has talked about this extensively. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and they've all unified. Strange bedfellows, by the way, because you would be dead in a matter of minutes if you went to not just fucking Gaza, but stop. If you went to Turkey, if you went to Georgia, Chechnya, Albania. Actually, I don't know. No, Albania is more Christian, right? Basically, any Muslim country, you're toast. Have fun in Saudi Arabia with the Rayud Festival. Enjoy yourself in the audience. Okay, so listen to this. This is a fun speech. Tell me where you recognize this from.
Alaikum. So I'd like to address something and get straight to the point.
Okay, Eric.
White supremacy is a problem that white people have the obligation of solving.
Obligation of
White
solving?
people need to solve this. White people need to stand up to this. It shouldn't always be people of color and various marginalized groups like LGBTQ folks that are always having to stand. Hey folks, salam alaikum. So I'd like to address something.
You recognize that speech?
No.
At my 50th birthday party, the local activist up here in Westchester, Chrissy, she had that written on a piece of cardboard outside the bar where I was celebrating. And it said exactly that, next to a highway, not a highway, but Boston Post Road, 40 miles an hour. I'll spill the beans now. My local is the Duck Inn in Mamaroneck. And I go outside, I go, Chrissy, just a swastika and an arrow pointing to the bar. People don't want to read a paragraph. And it's a weird, they keep saying that. It's one of their mantras. Hey, white people, don't ask black people for help fixing racism. Do they do that? I'm not looking to fix racism anywhere, but is that a thing? Hi, black person, can you help me fight racism? What? This is the kind of person who's training these people. And, you know, I talked to a guy, I won't divulge his name, but he works in AI, and he said he could see the chatter, just like the Apple TV series Savant. He could see the chatter on Reddit, and it said trans people feel like they're cornered rats, and so they're lashing out with violence. So be very wary of the trans community. They want to kill you. Go up a bit. This is the guy training transgenders to shoot in Utah. He is or was Army National Guard. His name's Charlie. He's telling people concentration camps have been opened in the Everglades. He joined armed queers in Salt Lake City. I believe that Tyler's boyfriend, trans boyfriend, is also a member of armed queers. Armed queers.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Charlie, and like many of you,
Hi, Charlie.
I've been glued to current events and have been disgusted by what I've seen. We're actively funding a genocide in Palestine. We have a child predator who pretends to be a king in the White House.
Stop. We have a child predator in the White House. You know what I think they get that from? Many years ago, he said he loves that he runs beauty pageants because when he goes in there, sometimes they're naked and stuff, he gets to hang out. It's the kind of thing you'd say to your friends, by the way, not really make public. But they weren't children's pageants. That became child predator. Oh, and Epstein, too.
Epstein, they won't shut up about it now.
They're convinced that he's fucking 12-year-olds on Epstein Island, which is weird because they weren't very concerned about Epstein Island before.
And our government has been completely taken over by corporations, capitalist greed, and foreign influences.
That means Israel.
Our immigrant neighbors and fellow citizens alike are being kidnapped by secret police and robbed of due process. Concentration camps are being opened in the fucking Everglades. USAID being shut down, which will cut off.
You know what the concentration camp? So that's the alligator thing? Yeah. And our fellow citizens, well, not really. By the way, Bill Clinton got rid of way more illegals than Trump could ever hope to.
Life-saving support for up to 14 million people. Cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP benefits for us domestically. Archaic policies that remove women's autonomy over their own bodies. Trade wars with all of our allies and preferential treatment to our enemies. Mass taxation without representation.
You're just throwing
attacks on the very
slogans
rights and lives of our trans and LGBTQ community. And illegally attacking Iran with a threat of war on the horizon.
What?
And the list goes on.
Sort
every
of.
day.
Yeah, your list of straw men goes on and
horrible.
on.
And I've been seeing everything going on and have had to ask myself, if you were alive during the rise of fascism in Europe,
oh, what a unique analogy.
what would you have done?
I would have killed Hitler.
And that answer for myself has fueled all of my actions. I've been volunteering anywhere and everywhere that I can, going to every single protest that I can make. And that brings us to why I'm speaking to you right now. Here in Utah, we had a huge turnout for the No Kings protest, which was overshadowed by tragedy. An armed volunteer mistook an armed protester for an aggressor, which resulted in the horrific death of a beloved member of our community, Afa Alu.
I haven't heard about this.
Me neither.
That shit cannot happen again. While
You
many
idiots
of us
are shooting each other?
reeling and recovering since that day, this fascist regime has not slowed down its attacks on the American people.
You hate
or
the American
world.
people.
And we have to regroup, keep perspective, and focus on the challenges that we still face together. We cannot stop now.
Okay, rhetoric.
So in the
enough for you.
absence of SLC...
Look up Afa Alu. AFAAHLOO. Afa Alu. Aha. There is nothing we can do. Afa Ahalu.
He does look familiar now that I'm looking it up. I guess he was on Project Runway and he got shot in June.
Oh, yeah.
Death down here. Yeah, No Kings protest.
Is he
Shot
dead?
Yeah.
What a bunch of geniuses. Jesus H. Tyler Robinson's partner is on the lam. It's my belief. Right now I'm going with Occam's razor. I don't believe in Jewish labs exploding, but I don't close the door to any theories. But his trans partner has absconded. We don't know where it is. And I think that, there's a digital footprint everywhere. You guys planned this all together. I don't think those texts are ChatGPT anymore. I think they talk in nerdisms. And you tried to cover your tracks with those texts saying, oh no, what have you done? Tyler Robinson's trans partner flees couple's Utah townhouse after Charlie Kirk assassination. Transgender, it was a live-in boyfriend. Appears to have fled the cozy Utah townhouse as he faces mounting criticism for not turning the accused killer in. Lance Twiggs, who has reportedly been cooperating with authorities since his partner allegedly shot blah, 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 has disappeared. Male was spotted piling up outside the $2,000 townhouse as backlash from the public jeopardized his safety and cops are still present, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Why did they let him go? They're probably following him. He's probably bugged. Jesse Riley lives just a few houses down from the couple, said he hasn't seen any recent signs of life in the apartment, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's probably what I would do, too, if I was you, dude. You're fucked. The city, here's a total, this is a global problem, right? Antifa. So that's America. That's the Trantifa thing. Let's check in on our neighbors to the north, City of Toronto. Staff appear to coordinate at least some degree with Antifa activists during the Dufferin Grove encampment clearing. The woman who tries intimidating the camera away is a mainstay at high-impact actions across the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, from blockading the Ontario Food Terminal to crashing Ford Fest 2024, and most recently, engaging in scuffles at Christie Pitts. I love that name. This impromptu meeting was not off limits to all media. An activist photographer with a long record on the front lines, including the 2025 Pride Parade disruption, was welcomed. Oh, okay. So let's see how they treat the media here.
Right now. No, you're leaving. You're leaving. You're done.
Look at these adversaries.
This is too much. Go.
Please don't touch me like you did to the other gentleman at Christie Pitts.
You need to go.
Like that.
Where am I going?
That's who we used to get bullied in school. And they're deciding what journalists can report on what.
I don't give a single fuck. Go.
Shove her.
Go. Come on, go.
Please don't intimidate me.
Go.
Please don't intimidate me.
Go. He won't leave. I'll leave. I need to leave.
The way they talk, it's so irritating. I won't be part of this. So you're leaving? You're going to take your ball home?
so you can collaborate with Antifa activists?
See, that's the government.
That has nothing to do with it.
Thank you. We're in a public park, sir. And you have a very public role with the city of Toronto.
All right, so. Okay,
Well, they're not even looking at them. They're on their phones. So this is Antifa and government employees having a meeting. They're the paramilitary wing of the left. And they're all nerds. This is what happens when you don't wedgie people. Okay, last thing. Interesting bulletin from inside of Antifa. They're in quite the pickle here. The right is united behind Kirk's assassination. They're feeling the heat. The solution is a bold strategy. Pit MAGA against MAGA by focusing on Israel as a wedge issue. And I would say that's working. I would say that the Israel Jew thing is a real split. It's a civil war within the right. And it's very unfortunate. I'm going to do a sit down with Nick Fuentes soon and we'll hash out our differences. But go to the top of that. What is that bulletin? What's it called?
Analysis of, CV Antifa.
I can't see the top. Corvallis, Oregon, CV. What an ugly site. Yeah. People still do blogs? On a national level, Kirk's killing has done much to galvanize and unify America's right wing. Well, don't spill. They're spilling their beans. Okay, keep going down. I want to get to the Israel part. We aren't able to monitor alt-right activity across the U.S., but we can keep an eye on what's happening in our backyard. 800 people, blah, blah, blah. Attendees were primarily evangelical, upper middle class normies, many of whom brought their children. Like, look at how fucking malicious they are. They're sitting here trying to talk about sabotaging funerals and memorials. How can we hurt them, they say. Meanwhile, we don't want to hurt anyone. We just want them to all to fuck off. There's Patriot Prayer guy. Just go, Command F Israel. I'm sorry, I should have had the correct quote ready. Anti-fascists must work to find more creative ways to counter this political moment. One option may be working to drive wedges between different segments of the right. We've already seen physical conflict between neo-Nazis and conservatives at these events when a group of bruisers associated with the so-called active club jumped a rockabilly guy at an event in Huntington Beach. One possibly useful wedge issue in this context is Israel. Conspiracy theorists have already jumped to blame Kirk's assassination on Mossad, claiming the lifelong Zionist was on the verge of becoming J-pilled. While the reactivation of a far-right movement in the presence of neo-Nazis within mass protests may be unpleasant, we want to end this article with a moment of hope. At the same time as 800 right-wingers marched in Eugene across town, an equal number of fired-up punks were gathered for radical alternative development's mental health benefit, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then he goes back to, we can do this.
So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.